Okay, bye.
How's it going? Venture Vehiculous here. Back with the passat $500 German turbo car project. Yesterday, I went and did a welding job for a guy who has like a wrecking yard going on. This is a private deal, but he has a tow truck. It's an old Ford that is falling apart on him. It's just a rust bucket. It's got a bunch of real questionable welds on it. And I hit him up trying to get a window out of him for the ute. And I talked to him for a bit, and I kind of came to a deal. And I told him I didn't really have a lot of cash right now, but you know, I'd hit him up when I had some money. And I had mentioned that I welded. He was like, "Hey, I need a welder. You know, maybe I could just work a trade." I was like, "Yeah." So I went there yesterday. I did a bunch of welding on his tow truck, and he traded me the rear hatch from an Acura MDX, which is going to work perfect, I think. We'll see. And I drug that thing home yesterday. He also paid me $50, which we didn't even agree to, but I guess he felt bad for the amount of work that it turned out to be. So, I mean, hey, a little extra cash in my pocket is always rad. That was just one of the many opportunities that I've had off the marketplace. And, you know, I find people, I meet people all the time and do stuff like that. Sounds totally crazy that I could get this car for $500. It also sounds crazy that I could get an MDX hatch for basically free and also get paid for my time. So, you know, you put feet to pavement. You get out there and you ask questions and you ask for things and you look for things and you be a yes man. Don't be a no person. If you're one of those people that every time someone hits you up, you just tell them no right off the bat, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You got to give people a chance. You got to look for the deal. You got to find the deal between you and another person that's going to work out good for everyone. And sometimes it's there, you're just not looking. Anyway, I'm really surprised by the amount of interest that I have in this project. This video, my last video on YouTube, has more views now than almost anything else I've ever posted except for my first ute video. And if you haven't seen that one, you should go check it out. It is also super rad. It features my friend Dre in it, and he's super funny. He's a lot more funny than I am by myself. But I'm glad that everybody is so interested in this, so I want to get started on episode number 2. And everyone was telling me, hurry up and cut the top off. We want to see it. So that's pretty much what I'm going to get to. Hope you enjoy. have to admit, I'm having second thoughts. First of all, the Acura MDX hatch that I worked so hard for yesterday will definitely not fit here. Not only will the hatch not fit, but the window won't fit, which is the important part. Even if I were to cut the hatch all up and remove a ton of material, the window itself is just a bit too wide in the top section. It's just never gonna look right. It would look super hokey. I just can't bring myself to do all that work for something that would be ugly. Another thing is, I was thinking to myself that what I'd really like to do is get a hatch and be able to mount it in here with hinges and like section out the old closings area, like this area right here, put it in here and be able to open and close the hatch. Because if I weld something right here, what I'm really losing is the wagonness of this wagon. And to be honest, I really don't want to lose that. I'm loath to give up the fact that this whole thing will fold flat. Because honestly, if I'm going to use it as a ute and as a truck to haul stuff, if I want to go rally it and safari it and have a good time, this would be a really nice feature to have. And if I weld in a cab back right here, it's going to go away. And all I'm going to have is a really short bed and room for 5 passengers and not much else. And I'd really like to be able to do this. This is really nice. This would be on the Gambler. Yeah, I can see it. We can put a tarp up. Might even have some really good like tent pole holders right here where I could do a little, a U-shape PVC and have some like tarps over it. The only thing is that means I can't weld anything right here. But I would like the car to be watertight. I would like to be able to drive it in the rain, leave it outdoors, and have it not filled full of water, since the rest of the interior is still really nice. So what I'm thinking is maybe like a soft top option. Do something like what a Jeep top would have, or an old Toyota Land Cruiser, things that used to have removable soft tops, and maybe get a lot of buttons. Do a whole bunch of buttons around here. I can still weld in just little pieces of sheet metal right here to give me a little bit of a section, and then have buttons here, all down here, and even across the floor. I can make myself like a piece of canvas. I even have a window that fits the hole pretty well. Somewhere in there, probably right there, maybe even down here. So yeah, maybe I can sew this into some canvas and make myself some sort of a soft top. It doesn't have to be completely waterproof. Even if I could just get something in here that would work, that would kind of section it off, keep it out of the rain when it's parked, and then when I'm driving it around, I can kick it off. And I think it would be super cool to be able to remove it, just to be able to drive around, and also to be able to sleep in it, to use it as a camping option. Obviously this way, if I want to run to the steel yard, I can buy a lot longer pieces of steel and fit it inside, or lumber, or anything like that. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer to leave it like this, which is sort of a change of plans for me. But on the other hand, I'm pretty used to getting knee-deep into a project and realizing halfway through that I want to change up how I want to do it. That's pretty common for me, and I think anybody that really does stuff will agree that a lot of times you have to be fluid, kind of take things as they come and decide. And I have to admit that the Honda Ute that I made last time, when I welded the cab back in, the second one that I did was definitely better. Using an OEM hatch gave me a good OEM window. It gave me a nice amount of waterproofness, soundproofness, things like that. It just still wasn't great though. That Ute was cramped. The interior of the car was pretty cramped. You could move the seats back, but if you moved the seat back, you couldn't lean it all the way back. If you wanted to lean it back, you actually kind of needed to move forward a little bit. I still made it too small. And one thing I don't want to do with this one is make it cramped. It's a big car. It's big and comfy and super roomy, and I like that about it. So I don't want to go doing so, like if I had cut it all the way to the B pillar and made it a regular cab 2-seater,
it would probably be pretty uncomfortable. Seats wouldn't go all the way back, and it'd be really cramped, and there'd be no hauling my dog. So I think that this sort of shape is probably what I'm going to end up going with. And unfortunately, I didn't get very far today, and it's kind of a bummer with the hatch not fitting. And now I have to see about sourcing some canvas and looking at how I'm going to go about doing that. It's going to be interesting and kind of a new side thing for me. But again, I'm pretty used to when I get into projects having to pick something up new and just, you know, on the Civic project, I had never welded before, and I did a couple of test strips, and then I was like, all right, well, I guess we just go for this. And as I went, I got better, and since then I've done a bunch more welding projects, and I've gotten a lot better at welding. But you know, it's just something you kind of have to do. I'm not big at sewing or creating things out of fabric, but I have done it before, and I'm probably going to get just a little bit better.